So hi everyone, Kieren and Ben here from Elite Rugby SandC. Today we're going to be talking about Becoming a Beast, our first year program, and also the preseason as well for rugby as that's coming up here in Australia. So first off, if you haven't, you join our Elite Rugby SandC community by signing up and take your game to the next level. You can try before you buy, so definitely try our 7-day trial to get a taste of what Becoming a Beast is about. So become a beast and join our community. So g'day Ben, how are you going today?
Yeah, really good, thanks. And yourself?
Yeah, going well today. Thank you very much. Can't complain at all.
Good. I wouldn't let you. No, I'm joking. You could if you needed to.
Yeah, fair enough. So first off the bat, what stands out with the Becoming a Beast program that you've noticed?
Well, look, we've put it together for people that are probably their first or second year when they really need something. And I've actually got a really good old mate that's in his late 30s that is trying to make a little bit of a rugby comeback after a little while. And he's been trialing it, and he actually, after a little while, he's got himself through a whole sevens tournament. So gives you an idea. So people that are rejoining up, he did a little bit of running before that as well. But and he's a guy that he's won multiple premierships, like 10 premierships at club rugby. So he's been, he reckons it's great for people looking to get back. What stands out is we've structured it in a way that you ease into it over the first few weeks, basically 3 to 4 weeks. You're actually easing into it. And we've gone for a very balanced program. So we've got a good mixture of speed, run tech, conditioning, strength, and power, as well as making sure that you're rolling out stretching and flexibility work. So we've gone for making sure that it's going to give you all the athletic tools that you need to be successful. And we're ramping up the workload over a long period of time, so that by the end of the program, you won't even notice how much better you are. So it's it's a very sensible approach that's you use in a elite sport when you're returning people to really hard workloads.
Mm,
And for you,
totally.
what stands out for you?
I think you just touched upon it. I think it's the balance to, yeah, we're going to be in the gym, but you got to be also out in the field as well. And I think as rugby players, we can get a bit too focused on just gym work and not actually worrying about conditioning and speed and acceleration. And I think just having that balance of, yes, we're in the gym, but we're out on the field, and you also got to recover as well. We're not just smashing ourselves at the start of the preseason and causing injuries before our season's actually even started. So I think having that balanced approach and educating our rugby athletes that, hey, you got to train both on the field and the gym, but you also got to recover as well. And that's probably what stands out the most is just having those aspects. And sort of programs that I've witnessed over the past don't really emphasize as much on the field or the recovery. So I think it's a nice balanced approach that we have.
Yeah, and what's really important, we won't go into a research point here. When you look at some of the research around pre-seasons and their effect on seasons, the more of a pre-season someone can get, the higher percentage of pre-season they participate. And we're talking gym speed, conditioning, rugby, and building up contact. The better or season they have, not only in terms of performance, but they're more injury resilient they are. Like, you can never totally prevent injuries, and you can never say that, but you have a higher chance of going through a season missing less training sessions and games if you have a really well structured and organized preseason where you get to do over 90% of it. It really does set you up well.
Mm, totally. So doing the program yourself, what have you noticed in your training?
Yeah, so look, I'm going to say mid-40s, and I'm just tipped over the edge to probably a little bit later than mid-40s. I've actually really enjoyed it myself. For me, it's getting back into some running and some I do a lot of coaching of speed tech and running tech and speed and actually doing the conditioning. And I've enjoyed doing the power stuff as well. Again, it's actually interesting that when you get a little older, you probably move away from that, but it's really, really important. I've actually felt really good around my joints and everything, and obviously, I'm a little bit older, so some younger people will feel fantastic from it. I also think from the way that we've organised it is you can actually do it with your football training as well. So we've got some with the way we've organised the on-field component is you can do the speed and run tech as your warm up prior to your actual rugby team. You can do all your skills and so forth with your team. And if you feel that you didn't get the conditioning that you want, you can actually do that conditioning as well. Yeah, I've actually really enjoyed it. I'm secretly going to keep doing it, but don't tell anyone because then I might try and play rugby again, which I won't.
True.
How about you? How
Yeah,
have you found some of the people that you've got doing it?
definitely agree with your point there in terms of, well, yeah, we've got field training out there, but if you just don't feel like it's giving you enough, that you, just like you said, you can do the sprint tech, run tech, all that stuff before as your warm up, and then definitely do your mas running and stuff and sprints as well. You might not actually have time in the program that your coach gave you to do sprints. So definitely we've given you the tool to say, hey, you need to do this type of running for those sessions. I think is a really great point. For me, it goes off sort of my philosophy. I love training whole body. It's just a great way that I reckon to maximize our time in the gym. So I reckon it's been a really good program because I can get in, do my session, and get out as well, and it's not taking up 2 hours of my day or anything like that. But I just feel like I'm making the most of my time and hitting pretty much every single body part that I can, and getting up a bit of a sweat, but I'm leaving feeling really good and I'm not tired or anything like that. It feels like, yep, I'm going to go home, recover, and then be able to do that session again. And I think that's a really, really important aspect as well, because I think a lot of athletes out there think they need to get into the gym and just smash themselves to feel like, yeah, I've achieved something. And that's just not what I believe in. And it's not what we believe in at Elite Rugby SandC. It's about just maximizing your time in the gym and getting the adaptations that we want, and then going off and recovering, and then being able to back it up again the next day. So yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and I've really probably put a big emphasis on those recovery days as well, making myself be a bit more mobile instead of a bit stationary at times due to work. And but yeah, it's been great so far.
Yeah, I think it's really important that you people will work hard through this program. That's building into it, but at the beginning that we're easing them in. By the time you're actually working hard, when you look back, you won't realise unless you really critically analyse where you were before how much you progress, and that's always a sign of a good program. Look, there's times where you just have to put in, but
Mm,
it's measured and controlled. Remember, we want you to train hard 4 to 5 days a week. To do that well, you've got to spread that workload out. You
mm,
can't just have a day of absolutely smashing yourself and then 2 3 days of being sore where you're not motivated to train. That's when people just get in their bad habits.
mm,
If you go from an elite point of view, a lot of people are seeing these unbelievable scores that rugby players have, but don't forget they've probably had sometimes a field session, sometimes two field sessions in a day that they do that gym, but they've built up over many years to get to that point. And I say this is year one, year two, or someone genuinely returning to football, or a fantastic way for a club football player to still, study or work and still train and feel good by the end of the week, so that they're enjoying training and want to train the next week.
totally. So to sum up the first two blocks of becoming a beast, what would you say?
Yeah, so we're accumulating some load. Okay, we're teaching you some technique and gently easing you into it. I want to use, say, week one for an example from a strength point of view. Then I'll go speed and then conditioning. So from a strength point of view, we're looking at only a couple of sets for the first week. And that's literally to reintroduce you back to make sure you've got some technical skills. The third week, we're bringing you up to 3 sets. And then the third week, we're building up again. And then at the same time that we're doing that, we're dropping some of the volume and increasing the intensity. Okay, that's sensible, normal training. It's not random like a CrossFit or an F45 or some high intensity training club that you go to where you just randomly can't control the workload. And then if we look from the speed point of view, what we're doing is teaching you how to run. Not many people are actually going to give you some running skills. We're actually teaching you how to run and giving you some calf conditioning work. And also with our acceleration, we're teaching you the first couple of steps. Once you get confident with that, you're actually building the number of steps out in your acceleration. So we're going to stop a lot of the calf, hip flexor and hamstring injuries that people get from doing a lot of speed training at first, because we're building up. And if you look at, again, the conditioning, we're building up the volume and the capacity over time. So we're trying to make sure that we're starting in a sensible position, that we're building up your tolerance as your body adapts. Okay, as you adapt, we stimulate you with just enough load so that it forces your body to keep adapting, and that's the approach. That's sensible, normal training. But to get into that, you have to start at a lower rate and be willing to accept that you're going to get better. So I've enjoyed it myself, and I think people will enjoy it, because it's not the type of training where you do a week and then you just over it and don't want to do it ever again. So now, yeah. So we put a bit of time into building it. So how did you find the decision making yourself and the planning to get that done?
Yeah, I found it was a really good process from both of us, and collaborating on what's worked in both our experiences, from the elite level and also my realm was just club level as well. So I thought the process was really good. And sort of to sum up the first few blocks, I think it's building a habit. It's building a habit around good training and a good routine. And I think that's probably what I would sum it up as. And it's not just hitting the ground running the first week. It's, hey, we're going to slowly progress you into it and build your capacity and build that motor. So when the season does come around, you're ready to go, and you're going to be at a high standard compared to your opposition as well. So that's sort of how I would sum up those first few blocks.
Yeah, brilliant. I agree. You did it probably in a more succinct way. Well done.
Yeah, probably. So what got you excited about preseason, sort of as a player and a coach, in your experience?
Look, it's an opportunity for you to actually get better. Like, you don't have the pressure of the games as well, so you can get some seriously good work done. There's almost a fear and a dread sometimes with preseason if you go to the higher level. People know it's important, like, you absolutely know. But there's a real pride in you as a coach and a player, knowing that you're doing some work that is unpleasant sometimes, but when you get through it, there's a real satisfaction that you've achieved something. And sometimes in the actual season, some of your enjoyment you can't control, because it's winning and losing games. So you don't know if you are improving, but in a preseason, you genuinely know that you are improving if you're doing the right things. You see your strength go up, you see your speed, you see your conditioning, you see how quickly recover, you're feeling better flexibility wise because you're actually doing a lot more work. So there's tangible things that you can actually feel yourself and you can see as a coach. And as you're coaching people and you see the players, you can see confidence building because they're physically getting better. It's it's a great thing to watch and be part of.
Totally.
How do you find the preseason?
I think as a player growing up, I probably didn't really like it as much from the early stages of my career, because I really just wanted to play rugby. It's like, I don't really want to train. I just want to go play. That's all I wanted to just go play. And
Yeah.
it really wasn't until after I left school at 19, 20, when I was in the academy for Vikings under your guidance, where I started to fall in love with the process of getting better. And it wasn't until I saw players who had were above me and also played schoolboy level with me, who left school early to go train, and how much they improved. And I was like, whoa, how did they get to that level so quickly? And it was just understanding, wow, preseason, that's where we can really maximize our potential, get fit, get strong, work on our skills, be technically sound. And yeah, it was really wasn't until later in my career that I really fell in love with preseason, because I just wanted to get better. I wanted to push myself. I wanted to push my teammates. Say, hey, if we do all this work now, we're going to be very, very sort of happy and just grateful that we did this work in the preseason to when we get to the season, especially when we get to finals as well, because no one's going to be able to keep up with us, and we're definitely going to take this competition by storm. So yeah, and then as a coach, I loved it, because it was a time where I could then give back to my players and say, hey, this is the process, and if you do this really well and give it your all, you are going to start the season off and finish the season off in a really good position. And it was just sharing my experience that I learned and giving back to them that, hey, we've got to work hard in the preseason to be able to be a competitive force during the in-season as well.
Yeah, I really like that your journey there. As we're young, we all just want to play the game. Then as you get a little bit older, you realise that to have success, you've got to earn it, and to earn it, you've got to have a good process, and you've got to put in through that process as you go along, and believe in that process, but be part of that process of creating it. And I can see why you definitely enjoy coaching. It's great to see.
Yeah, I do enjoy coaching now, because I'm not the one having to run and do the Broncos and stuff like that. So it's much fun to watch them do it than actually do it. So
yeah, you still do it though. I know you do. Deep
yeah,
down.
true. Yeah.
Don't pretend you don't.
So what advice would you give to athletes returning back and starting preseason, from a coaching point of view, and also maybe an athlete point of view when you're doing preseasons?
Yeah, it's being organised. So to actually do a preseason well, it's not just about the training. It's making sure that you've got your life set up. If you can make sure that you get 8 hours sleep, you can make sure that you've got a bottle of water with you. Make sure that if you've got a job where you can't have access to food, that you've got your food organised that day before. That makes a big difference. Like that usually, without that, no matter how good a training program is, it's not going to help. Also, there's little tricks in summer too. If you come back from work and you've been outside, say you're a tradie, some great tricks is have a really cold shower, actually chill out for a little while, even if you have to do that at the training ground that you go to, the footy club, and chill out for a little bit before your training session. Like that makes a huge amount of difference. The other one is being really detail orientated. So with your training programs that you've got, like the one we've got online, put in the actual numbers that you've got. Okay. Before you start a set or a rep, or whether it's speed or anything, just take a look at your history and see what you've done. And have a clear goal of what you want to get out of that day. So if it's a strength day, like you pick some stuff that these are the key lifts that I really want to get something out of. Or if there's some running, you go, well, I've got to be really focused here, because if I'm honest, I'm not the most conditioned guy. I'm pretty fast, but the speed comes a little bit more naturally. I'll really do a good job, but really putting on the things that's going to make a difference for you. And just enjoy the little wins. Like if you've lifted 2.5 kilos more than you did last week on the lift, celebrate that like you don't have to go up in huge numbers, just lots of little wins all the time is amazing. And it all adds up. But that would be my tip, I reckon. How about you? Any tips?
I think my tips would be just sort of like you're saying, create that routine again. If you're working full time, studying full time, just make sure you are prepared to go to train. So, and especially if it's hot out there in summertime, that you have drinking enough water, you've got food prep ready throughout the whole day, not just before training. It's throughout the whole day. You've gotten some good snacks before training, and you're also then prepared to eat after training as well and hydrate and then go back to sleep. I think for the field based, if you're a bigger guy like I was big. I like to say that I was big, even though I was small.
Yeah, you're a prop, mate. Yeah, you're a small big guy.
Yeah, small big guy, as we say. Um, Make sure that you have a pair of plastic studs to run in. I can't sort of emphasize that enough. Like, it's happened to me twice in my career where I got shin splints because I was wearing metal boots and the grass out there was just dead, and we're just that load over time and created me to have those shin splints, and it just sucked, to be honest. And it wasn't until Ben Hine, former Brumbies player and Sunwolves player, showed me these boots from Asics. He calls them career savers, and they definitely.
I was going to say, yeah, that was the term I was going to say. Like, so the elite level, those ASIC ones or whatever it is, ASICs, they're not our sponsor, but they might be one day. With the molded bottoms that are more almost like a sneaker in a way.
Yeah,
we literally call them career savers.
Yeah,
they do get, because you can put more Ks, and we're talking about your hotter type of climates, say like Australia, South Africa, south of France, places like that where the ground is really, really hard, and you'll probably find that in other places as well. The amount of, I guess, shin splints that you get in big footy boots when you could be wearing career savers is huge, and you can speak to it because of your toe.
Yeah, totally. And it helps me so much with my toe and sort of calf injuries, just to be able to run more and be just more effective. And I would use my plastic boots for in the in season as well. I would make sure that I wore them during the warm up, any type of speed work and stuff. And then once we did team runs and scrummaging and all that, obviously the metal boots would come out straight away. But that would probably be my biggest tip, along with setting up that routine, is having a pair of plastic boots that you can do a lot of Ks in and running and your skill work as well. And I think it doesn't matter if you're a forward or back, it will definitely help you a lot.
Yeah, okay. I think I'm going to give a prize to whoever gets the most completed sessions done. We might look at giving them some career savers, eh?
Yeah,
we'll go down that track. That could be exciting. Yeah.
And sort of to wrap things up, even though we sort of touched about it just then, how do athletes maximize their preseason, in your thoughts?
Yeah, it's knowing the purpose. So knowing why you're doing it. Okay, so a lot of stuff in life is we can make excuses, which are usually rationalization of reasons that you believe that you might skip a session, you might do that. I've worked a little bit longer. I'm a touch sorer than normal today. But when you've got a really big why of you doing it, and that could be that you want to get through the whole season. Okay, first time in a long time, that's what you want to do. Or you want to play the highest grade possible instead of playing, say, second 15. You want to play first 15. Okay, just have that why, but also enjoy it. Like, enjoy the fact that when you put in and afterwards, there's no better feeling of accomplishment. Okay, the why will get you over the line starting, but the enjoyment of getting better is it's a gift while you're young enough to use it. Just absolutely enjoy it as well. Yeah. What would be your tips?
I would say that as well. Enjoying the process, and it's not just an individually; it's enjoying it with your teammates as well. We play a team sport. Doesn't matter how good you are; you're only as good as the weakest link on your team. And it's maximizing the preseason as a team. So getting to know each other, getting to the gym with each other, putting in the hard yards with each other, so that you can go put all that hard work you've just done into the in season. And the in season might not go as planned, but just like you said, it feels really good to be able to commit to something and get a really good result from it. And just doing hard work, it does pay off. So I would say be really team focused and making sure that you're getting better and you're also helping the team get better as well.
Yeah, I like your point of, if you're doing a program, just say you jump onto our program, grab a mate, take a mate with you. Yeah, that's it. Set up a habit of a couple of mates. Like, it's so enjoyable. You're pumping some music and in lifting some weights together, doing some speed, doing some running together. Like, all of a sudden, it's become a nice social event where you're probably getting a little competitive, and you get those juices flowing a bit, and you enjoy it.
And it's so easy just for you to be like, oh, I'm not feeling the best today. I'm just going to skip it. But if you're in a group and you say that, they're probably going to be like, hey, come on, you're good. Let's go train. Come on. And just that sort of that camaraderie, and you want to keep working hard for your teammates as well, will help you get over those days where you just don't feel motivated or inspired to do it as well. So I think that's another great point as well.
Yeah. I've heard a really good saying. It's, it's not how hard we train while people are watching. It's how hard you train when no one's watching. So, putting in on those days where just say you are training by yourself and no one's watching, you've got a chance to really rise to an occasion as well. So it's not always about your mates. Just think of, if you were watching you, what would you want from yourself?
Totally.
Yep.
So thanks everyone for watching. So we just talked about becoming a beast program for the preseason, and gave our sort of insights to what we experienced from from the preseason, and then also some really good training tips as well for the preseason. So make sure you do subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram to keep up to date on all the content that we are producing. Make sure if you aren't already that you are a member of Elite Rugby SandC and becoming a beast. And I'm really looking forward to our next conversation, Ben. So thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Kieren. Well done, mate, and I'll catch you soon.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.